Hey guys, it's Nick from Pick'em MMA here, and today we're going to be talking about the best bets that are most likely to cash in for UFC 287. And the main event on this card is Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. So the first fight we're going to be talking about here is Sam Hughes versus Jacqueline Amorim. And Jacqueline is making her UFC debut here, and she has a record of 6-0, and all of those 6 wins are by finishes. 5 of those wins were by submission, and one of those wins were by knockout. And she's gonna be facing Sam Hughes, who has not looked too good in my opinion, and she has a record of 7-5, and um, she is 30 years old still, so not really like that old, but I do think Jacqueline's gonna dominate this fight. Maybe the first round is gonna be a little bit hard because this is her UFC debut, so we don't know how she's gonna look in the first round. Maybe she's gonna have some nerves in this fight in the first round, but the second round, I do think she's gonna find that neck or lock in a submission by armbar. Like she does have submission by knee bar also. Submission by armbar. Does have a TKO win over Megan Owen, who's 1-0 at the time, and has a rear naked choke win over some girl in LFA, and also has an arm triangle choke. So, I mean, she has a lot of weapons on the ground, and I don't see this fight going any different for her. She might have some trouble in the first round, but the second or third round, she is gonna find that neck or arm or whatever, like, and she's gonna get that W. And she's not too big of a favorite here, -250. And I would say the safer play is the money line here, but the finish is more than likely here. Like, I personally am playing money line here, but I might sprinkle some by finish. So for the next fight, guys, we're gonna be talking about is uh, Trey Ogden versus Ignacio Bahamondes. So in my other video, I did pick Trey Ogden, I think, because he really impressed me against Jell Huber. Jell Huber was a big favorite, -500 if I can remember. And like, I don't know what happened to Huber. He could just really started slow, and Trey Ogden just took control of that fight. Just backed him up and just let go of his strikes. And that was a really good win for him there. And he did lose to Jordan Levitt, who looked really good in his last fight by split decision. So, I mean, he's not getting dominated by anyone. And he's going to be fighting Ignacio Bahamondes. I mean, Bahamondes can definitely, like, is a really good kickboxer. And his only loss in his last 5 fights was to John Makdessi. He is a -290 favorite here, probably even a bigger favorite right now. And I do think I'm gonna take Bahamondes here. He is a younger fighter here at 25 years old. He is gonna have that height advantage and that reach advantage. He's gonna have a reach advantage of 3.5 inches and height advantage of 4 inches here, which is gonna be huge. The way I see this fight going is Ignacio Bahamondes is gonna stay at range and just let go of those kicks and those body shots. Those like, this guy can really, like, his striking accuracy is really good in my opinion. Alright guys, so I would take Ignacio Bahamondes by finish. I do see a finish in this fight. Um, I think Trey Ogden has been finished before by submission. Okay, so he's never been knocked out before. But I still am gonna take Ignacio Bahamondes by finish here. Maybe submission when he hurts Trey Ogden. Alright, guys, so for the next prop bet, we're gonna go with Cynthia Calvillo versus Lupi Godinez. I do think Lupi Godinez is gonna get this W with by dominating with her wrestling. She's gonna win by decision. And I know she looked really bad against Angela Hill, and she just couldn't get her wrestling going. But I don't think this fight is gonna be similar to that fight. Calvillo has not been looking good lately, and I do see Lupi dominating this fight. Maybe she can get a late stoppage, but I do think decision is the most likely here. Alright, guys, for the next prop, we're gonna go with Gerald Meerschaert versus Joseph Pfeiffer. And my official pick was Gerald Meerschaert. I think he is gonna. I do think if this fight goes over one round, um, I'm gonna live bet Gerald Meerschaert, and I'm also gonna sprinkle him by submission here. He's only been knocked out twice in his career. Once by uh, Santos, the Hammer. Yeah, he's been knocked out by Thiago Santos back in 2017, and the second time he got knocked out was against Hamzat Chimaev, where he just froze in front of Hamzat Chimaev and just took that right hand from Hamzat clean. I mean, this guy's had a lot of fights. He has, I think he's second place right now for the most submission wins at a middleweight. And if you see this fight going over one round, I think Meerschaert could catch that neck. I do know that Pfeiffer's wrestling is pretty good, but I'm just not sold on him yet. He hasn't faced the best competition so far. As you can see, he got a TKO win over Ellen Amedovski here. And he just competed against Eric Anders in grappling. He got a unanimous win there at Fury Pro Grappling. I mean, that's pretty good, I guess. It's good to see that he's still competing outside. And Alan Amedovski even, I wasn't really that impressed by that. I mean, Amedovski does not really have that much of a chin right now. And he's been finished in his last couple fights. Alan Amedovski, as you can see, has lost twice by knockout, once by submission. Hasn't won any fights in the UFC. Alright, guys, for the next bet, we're gonna go with Kelvin Gastelum versus Chris Curtis. I think I'm gonna go with Chris Curtis by decision here, and you are gonna get plus money on this odds, on these lines. Chris Curtis is the slight underdog in this fight. I know Gastelum is a really good fighter. He's faced a really good competition, but he's been away for way too long. And Chris Curtis has been fighting a lot in the last since 2021. He's fought like over 10 times, and has only lost to Jack Hermanson by unanimous decision, where Hermanson kept at range and just kind of touched him from range and got a win by unanimous decision. So I don't think he's gonna TKO Gastelum here. I mean, Isreal Adesanya couldn't TKO Gastelum. Cannonier couldn't TKO Gastelum. Robert Whittaker couldn't TKO or finish Gastelum. I think the most likely this fight is gonna go the distance. So maybe you guys want to bet fight does go the distance here. But I am gonna go with Chris Curtis by decision here. And for the next prop, guys, we're gonna go with we're gonna look at the fight for Raul Rosas Jr. versus Christian Rodriguez. And I mean, this kid is just so talented. He is sitting at like minus 245, or probably even a bigger favorite now. And he's undefeated right now. I mean, he is facing a pretty good fighter here, Christian Rodriguez, who is also a finisher in his own right. And his only loss came to Jonathan Pierce on short notice. And that loss came by unanimous decision. But I am gonna take Raul Rosas Jr. here. I do think this fight is gonna go over 1.5 rounds. I mean, Rodriguez is a pretty good grappler in his own right, but Rosas Jr. is really strong for his age. I mean, the way he just picked up what was his name, Pereira in that fight in the first round, and just wrapped that neck up real fast. I mean, Pereira tapped real fast in that fight. I mean, just imagine the squeeze on this kid. So we're gonna go with Raul Rosas Jr. here. I just have a hard time seeing him finish Rodriguez here, but it might come by third round submission, if I had to guess. Or maybe this fight does go to decision, but I do think the UFC wouldn't have made this fight if they didn't think Raul Rosas Jr. would get a good win over Rodriguez. They are trying to build him up right now. So my pick for this prop is Raul Rosas Jr. by submission. Alright guys, for the next prop, we're going to be looking at the main event, Alex Pereira versus Isreal Adesanya. And as you guys all know, this is their fourth fight in combat sports. Alex Pereira is a beast. I mean, this guy's left hook is a thing of beauty. And he's finished most of his MMA wins. He got a TKO win over Thomas Powell. Got a TKO win over Andreas Michailidis. Got a decision win over Bruno Silva. Got a KO win over Sean Strickland. Got a KO win over Isreal Adesanya in their last fight. And we're gonna go with another TKO win for Alex Pereira. I don't see this fight going any different. I think Isreal Adesanya is gonna try to use his footwork and try to stay at range, but Alex Pereira is gonna walk him down and put him against the fence, and then back him to the fence, and then just let go of his hooks. And we do know that Alex Pereira can take Isreal Adesanya's strikes, but Isreal can't take Pereira's strikes. I mean, so that's why, as you see here in Tapology, most people have Pereira by knockout. Alright guys, so this is it for this card. I hope you guys have good luck this Saturday and make some money.